The best red zone defense in the NFL. Does it reside in Philadelphia? We're going to get into it in today's show. We're also going to get into some Fletcher Cox and some deep penetration. Brendan Albert is here. I am Adrian Bedke. I was just joking with you. You know, I'm not in mid-season form when it comes to the deep penetration, but that was a good one.
It was a pretty good one, I got to say. It was a pretty good one there.
Yeah, I elongated that one. I've been struggling. I haven't been able to extend it for more than like 5 seconds this year, but get back to the 10-second mark.
Well, you brought a good week one, so now we just got to continue to build on, week by week kind of thing, right?
True. Just like film study. Continue to build.
Exactly right, Adrian.
Let's get into it right now. Oh, I love my transitions. So beautiful. So the first play we're going to look at, as Brendan brings up the screen, by the way, the Game Pass not working for me right now for whatever reason. It better work because I need to watch some football. We're going to look at the first quarter, 11:41 mark, and this play is remarkable. So this is the first time that the Falcons drove inside the 10. They try to run it in. Fletcher Cox, the athlete that he is, he slides over 2 gaps to make this play. It's very, very impressive.
Now, Adrian, am I crazy, or do I remember correctly that it was, that it was actually this end zone, too, that the Falcons season ended on last year?
Yes.
Okay. So to be clear, the Falcons essentially have spent 300-plus days and still haven't moved a foot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they still haven't moved.
Just making sure we're all on the same page here. At this rate, Atlanta, the Falcons should just start paying rent for the other 99 yards because they just can't afford that last foot. For whatever reason, of high power their offense is, and it is good. It is a very good offense. Just can't do it here. But let's take a peek here at Fletcher Cox here, big 91. We're going to get kind of an idea from the aerial view here, but really you're going to get a better appreciation for it from the end zone view. You get a great idea of how he does such a great job using his hands to get off those cut blocks. But what you have to understand here, guys, is this play is designed to be run away from him. And when the ball is run away from you as a big man, the offensive linemen are going to cut you as backside. That's 100% the game plan. It's not like, oh, look at them fall down. No, that's actually the game plan. The game plan is big man fall down, and you're 300 pounds. In normal, real world, that's a huge roadblock. But when you're Fletcher Cox, 300 pounds is very easy. So let's take a peek here real quick. What we're going to see here, guys, we're going to see a run to our left here, and we're going to have Fletcher Cox right here. As you can see here, he's lined up in the backside B gap. What this means, guys, either side of the center, we call this A gap. If the ball is going towards it, we say it's play side. If we say it's away from it, it's backside. So this side would be considered backside A. This would be considered backside B, backside C, backside D. Play side A, play side B, what have you, all right? So let's kind of take a peek here, and I don't want to go too fast because you'll lose the appreciation for how good Fletcher moves on his feet. What we're going to see here, guys, slow and steady, Atlanta, is we're going to see a pull, all right? So we get pull. We get pull here from the guard. So this tells us clear as day. Fat men, guys, do not move unless they want to or they have to, right? Follow the fat men. That's almost always the rule in football. We see a fat man pulling this way, ball's coming this way. Even look which way Matt Ryan's handing off, fullback. Everything is telling us, hey, this is run to the left. Fletcher, you are backside. There is zero reason you should make this play because it's not designed for you to. Take a look at this here. Plays off
Oh, my God, look at this.
Plays off the A, jumps over the A gap, and stuffs him cold. That's a 300-pound man moving around about 900 pounds of other human in front of him to still make a tackle for loss, Adrian.
You know, I watched this on film, and I watched this play a couple times, but, man, like, each and every time you watch it, it's just incredible, the athleticism that he has.
It's unbelievable. I mean, look, there's a reason guys like Fletcher Cox and Aaron Donald are getting all the guaranteed money because they deserve it.
How many other players can do that in the NFL? Less than 5?
Oh, yeah, less than 5.
Yeah.
Probably less than 3. If I'm not including Fletcher Cox, less than 3. Aaron Donald can.
That's not it.
Yeah, I mean, I get a couple guys in that. Like, I like McCoy. I like Geno Atkins. Like, they're
Yeah.
in that mix.
But I don't know if they're as athletic as the other two.
I agree with you. I don't think either of them. I think you have Darnold, Cox, and then I think you have a couple guys in the mix. But in my opinion, I'm with you, Adrian. As far as athleticism, boom, boom, that's 1-2, man.
Yep. All right, the next play we're going to look at, you don't have to go far. So this is mostly going to be a Fletcher Cox film study, but we are going to look at one play by Kamu Grugier-Hill. This was an outstanding play. Now, part of the problem here, again, is Steve Sarkisian and his awful play calling. Like, 4th and 1, you're going to run it out wide. What are you doing?
This is like this catch-22. Me and Adrian were talking about this pre-show, right? So when you look at Atlanta's offense, if you look at the running backs, I actually like the running backs a lot.
Yeah.
But I don't think either of them are a true power back, a LeGarrette Blount-like guy. Their skill set is more horizontal than it is vertical. So, okay, I'm a little understanding of that. And if you were to sit down with me and you said, hey, we need a yard, we're going to run outside of Devontae Freeman, and we're going to run at some linebacker that I'll admit I had never heard of, Adrian. Never heard of him. And I'm pretty plugged into the football world. I would say I like my odds until I watch this play. To me, this is the single most impressive play in the entire game. More impressive than Fletcher Cox.
I agree. This was outstanding. And he's been a guy that's had a really good training camp. He had a really good training camp. He had a really good preseason, and he showed it again. So this is awesome. The way he just gets off 2 blocks, makes this play. You can break it down better than I can. I can break it down pretty good too, but you're the best. So
we're going to see this off the edge here, right? So keep your eyes here. This is a great example. Well, why do you bench press all of this for this exact moment? This is why you do all that bench press. First thing, this is a important thing for any defender. You have to win the block, and you have to lock your elbows out. You have to get full extension so you can control the block. Let me see if I can.
Hold on. Before you move on there, you can see right here, the blocker's leaning a little bit forward. Kamu Grugier-Hill's base, perfect balance. He's balanced perfectly.
I would agree with that, right? We're in a good striking position. We strike pretty even here. Now look at him lock out, okay? Right there. Now we get the fullback. So you're telling me I have a play side tight end and a fullback double teaming a linebacker that, with all due respect, isn't exactly a Pro Bowl level guy, at least not to this point in his career, and we can't beat his ass? No, you can't, because he does a great job of also extending here on the fullback here too. And now not only am I going to make this tackle, I'm making this tackle for a loss. This is so damn impressive. It completely blew me away, Adrian.
Yeah. And even to go back on that first blocker, how he's unbalanced and how he's just perfectly balanced for the strike up, and he just sets him aside. Very, very easy.
It's awesome here, man. Just keep talking about keeping the outside shoulder free so you can always keep knifing outside. And because he's able to do that, we get all the homies now to ride back on the inside, and you get all that green shirts coming in.
I mean, obviously he made a great play here, but let's take a look at like a normal situation. What are you looking for out of him? Basically, you're just looking to string that play outside and let your teammates converge and make the tackle.
Exactly right. At this point, hey, I'm the last line of defense. My job is to make sure nothing between my right shoulder and the sideline happens. Ball cannot be between my right shoulder and the sideline. If the ball goes inside of me, fine. That's not my job. But you talk about him not just doing his job 3 times. Beat the first block, beat the second block, make the tackle. Man, this is an unbelievable play, Adrian.
It really was. And that's why we had to show it in the film study, because it was that damn good.
These are the plays, to be honest, like we see in moments and we're like, wow, that's really impressive. This is going to be very hard to beat. This is how good fundamental. This is what I call teach tape. When you talk to high school players, these are the clips you pull. This is fantastic.
It really is. It really is. All right, so now we're going to get back to Fletcher Cox and that deep penetration. So we're going to go late in the third quarter. We're at a 3rd and 6. And the thing that I want you to break down here, so we're going to see Fletcher Cox on an island. And just look at this defensive formation here on the defensive line. So look at that. He's right on the nose, and he's got all the space in the world.
Now we have to just understand here. Okay, where's the help going to come from, right? So let's put our offensive lineman hat on. All right, we're pretty much one-on-one here, Chris Long.
Come from the left guard, most likely.
Exactly right, Adrian, because the left guard's got no threat, right? We have a threat here in the right guard. We have a threat right tackle, left tackle. So threat, in theory, should be coming here from the left guard. But, man, Fletcher Cox just beats this dude like a drum. There's two things I want everyone to kind of really catch their eyes here to. The first thing is I call it heavy hands, right? The heavy hands, violent, right? Look at Alex Mack. He's a pretty darn good center in the NFL, Adrian. He's not some slappy.
He's top 3 in the NFL when it comes to center position.
Yeah, he's pretty darn good here. But he never gets his balance under him because Fletcher Cox's hands are so freaking heavy that each one of these hits makes him look like he's just rattling around. No base. He has no bend in his knees. And now Fletcher is able to completely have his way with him. The heavy hands and how quick Fletcher Cox is off the ball, make sure that Mack never has a chance to get the bend in his knees. We call it sitting in a chair, or another thing you might hear it called taking a shit in the woods. It's all about having your knees bent and your butt underneath you in a powerful position. Alex Mack never gets that because Fletcher is so quick off the ball and his hands are so violent. Alex Mack never has a chance to even get in a powerful position because because Cox is right in his kitchen right away.
Yeah, and you look at the left guard here, Levitre, he just kind of lets them go by.
Yeah, this is not a good look for you, right? This is going to be one of those moments in film study where Levitre might just be looking down a little bit when this clip comes up in film study.
I'm trying to figure out here, is Cox's get off so quick that he just couldn't? Nope. It's not that he can't get to him. He's right there.
And honestly, it's a piss poor chip there from him.
That's awful. Yeah, he just put his shoulder in him.
It's a piss poor chip because I understand you're really just trying to punch and make sure you don't have any threat, and I get that. But when you make the chip 3 yards deep, it's too late. It'd be different if you're making the chip at the line of scrimmage. The chip is happening too late. Fletcher Cox is already putting Alex Mack on ice skates.
Yeah, he's already messing up that planting for the quarterback. What's it called? What's the tech
plant foot? Yeah,
plant foot. There you go. All right, next play we're going to look at. Unfortunately, this sack did not count because Derek Barnett was offsides. But we're still going to look at this because it was an impressive play from Fletcher Cox. So we're going to do that.
We talk about the speed, right? We talk about the speed from Fletcher Cox, and you don't talk about speed from interior linemen very often. He's one of the rare ones you talk about it with. But the speed here has Mack really on skates early. First off, look at this. Look at the bend.
Get off again. Look at the get off and how he's in front of everyone.
Absolutely. Look at the bend across the offensive line, right? Good seat, pretty good seat, good seat, good seat. I know you can't really see it in Mack, but here's what I see. I see his helmet is definitely higher than the rest of the offensive linemen. Yeah. This tells me he's not in a seated position.
He's upright.
Exactly right. This is the fourth quarter, right? This is when you as an offensive lineman have been getting your ass kicked so bad that now you're more worried about, I just got to get out of my stance and get my hands on them. And now all of your base is starting to go to shit. And it's the same deal here. Bad base, I'm going to swim right around you, and Matt Ryan doesn't have a freaking chance.
Boom. So we just see everything in this game. The versatility of Cox, the heavy hands, the quickness, the get off, the swim moves. He's got it all, man.
He's unbelievable. I mean, look at this. He's, again, you talk about, right, we talk about the fact that Mack has to be out of his stance quick. Look at this. Mack knows it now. Mack knows I got to get my hands on him first. Yep. Because if I don't get my hands on him first, I'm going to get hit in the side of the head like Bernard Hopkins' hook. And I know I got to be quick. So here's what happens with Mack. He's quick, which is the good news. The bad news is he's in a bad seat and he's lunging, right? So what happens? You reach, I teach, son. He reaches here, easy money. Easy money here for Fletcher coming right in. And you ask any quarterback in the NFL, this is the nightmare. This is the nightmare. 300-pound man coming in the A-gap. Nope. No thank you, sir.
He's going down before he's even coming.
Yeah.
Fox is coming.
Adrian, you know what we call this when this quarterback starts to do this? We call this a business move, man. This is nope.
I don't want
Nope.
a concussion. Let me just fall down.
Business move here, man.
Yeah. So we're talking about Mac and lunging, and he's lunging a lot in this game, but he's one that normally doesn't lunge. Is there a reason why he's lunging so much?
It's the fourth quarter, Adrian. He's been beaten with speed the first three quarters. Now his mental timer has picked up that he has to lunge.
Is he thinking too much?
I don't know if he's thinking too much. I think what he believes is what I've been trying the first three quarters hasn't worked.
Yes.
So I got to do something different. The bad news is Fletcher Cox will beat you on your best day and he'll beat you on your worst.
Yeah, you ain't kidding. You ain't kidding. And what's so great is he's one of the few that's actually signed the $100 million contract and has gotten better.
No doubt.
Next play. All right. So fourth quarter, 55 seconds, last drive of the game for Atlanta. His lone sack of the game. Well, one that counted. So we're going to see a stunt from Chris Long in this play, and we're going to break this one down.
This is tough, man. And this is where I feel for the defensive tackles. Sacks just is never going to be part of their stats, right? I mean, like, it's not. But, I mean, you look at everything that we just showed you, and you're like, yeah, he had his way. Like, he's worth $100 million, but he's not going to be a 15-sack guy that an edge guy is, right?
Yeah.
But let's take a peek here at what we're going to see in the stunt. So what we're going to see in the stunt, we got our man Chris Long here. He's going to be active, and because he's active, what he eventually is going to do is he's going to tie up the center. So because of that, this is another way, hey, how can we get Fletcher Cox on an island? Well, now it's going to look a little bit different. It's going to look like a true forefront, pretty much even spacing here. But we have Brandon Graham here matched up on the tackle. Eventually, we're going to get Fletcher matched up here in the interior. So let's kind of take a peek here, folks, of what we see. So we see here, you kind of can see the
Detroit got his hands on him first.
Absolutely, and you can see here Chris is coming in. We see the stunt coming around, so you can see Mac peeking, and now you get one-on-one. You get Fletcher Cox one-on-one, I'm cool with it. I mean, you can pretty much pick your poison. Give me an offensive lineman in the NFL, I'll put money down on Fletcher Cox one-on-one that he's going to win more often than not.
So, this goes back to the versatility. This is the bull rush here. This is just straight power, right back into the quarterback. So bull rush, swim move, athleticism, all in this game.
And take a peek at this one full speed. You'll be able to really see Chris Long. See how Max peeking? Now it's just a bull. Oh, come on.
Yep. There it is. There was another play. I remember watching it live, but I couldn't find it when I was on the film. But he lined up over center, over the nose, but he took on the left guard. So he kind of like veered over like a little banana peel, and he just bull rushed him right back, and Matt Ryan had to throw it away, I think it was. So just all game long.
Yeah, all game. I mean, this defensive line is so freaking good. Now, mind you, Timmy Jernigan didn't play, right? So you're just adding another piece there, and then of course you have Sweat still developing, and whatever's going to happen there, of course. And then you have Barnett, who's getting better and better. This line is so freaking good. I know you probably hear it in nausea, depending on whatever media outlet you listen to. But honestly, it's crazy to say they deserve every bit of the media attention. There's no overhypeness in this.
Yeah. You think you could do one quick play?
Let's do it.
All right, last play. The one that So it's a switch tango. Switch tango with the so we're gonna see Sidney Jones in the slot, but it's Darby that's gonna take Jones. So it's a switch here.
Yep. So we're gonna tango everything in the goal line. What the hell does that mean, Brendan? What are you talking about? Dancing here?
You're switching, just like basketball.
Switching. Tango's another term for switching, right? So it's all about getting on different levels and making sure that gosh darn it, sorry about that. Is making sure that we're able to switch. Small thing here, right off the jump, levels. We talked about this in the Panthers tape from last season, all about being on different levels. If your defensive backs are on the same level, put money on the table. You can head to Vegas right now. No receivers are this tight because they like each other. They're this tight because they're ready to make some type of switch route, right? So because of that, you got to be on different levels. Different levels here tells us, hey, you have outside, I have middle, you have inside. So we're pretty much 3-on-2 no matter what happens. So this is a nice way of still being able to double team a player when they're tight like this. Just kind of got to take a peek.
Yeah, this is why Brendan is awesome. I don't even have to send him plays. And he breaks him down.
Right here, just like I said was going to happen. We get a delayed rear release going to the corner, fade, okay? He's not out here heading to Chickies and Pete's. He's out here running the fade route. It's the only thing possible he's going for. So now as a corner, what do? You got to get chest to chest with him. You can't give him any room. You got to get up in his kitchen now. This is one of the best receivers of our generation, and if you give him room, he's going to win more often than not. Get chest to chest with him, play up through his hands. It's a great job here. Use the sideline as your ally. Force him out, use a rebound, wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. When he starts to look up, what happens here, and this is just human anatomy, folks, when you start to look up, your inertia and your balance is off. When your head's down, you're in a better balanced position. If I look up, you can push me. So as soon as Julio looks up for the ball, not only do I have to look up, but I have to wiggle and push you out. Not an easy thing to do when you're going versus one of the best receivers I talked about of our generation here, Adrian.
I love the way you just broke that down. See, I'd be able to break that down, but not as in-depth as you just did.
Adrian, let me ask you this. Do you have a problem on these type of situations? Let's pretend you were a Falcons fan. Would you have a problem throwing the fade route here?
Well, the only thing here is this was the same exact call as the fourth down last year. So it's the same play, but on the other side. So it's very predictable. But a fade to Julio Jones, if you try that 4 out of 4 times, you're going to come down with one of them, right?
That's my thought too, brother. I mean, look, when the ball's in the air, 50-50 chance. It's either going to be caught or it's probably going to be deflected. Yeah. Very, very rare you see interceptions on fade routes. So, yeah, I mean, I'm cool with it, especially if you're 4th and 1 and you're Atlanta and you haven't shown the ability to run the 1 yard and you're telling me, hey, my best player on the field right now, arguably, is Julio Jones. Yeah, why wouldn't I throw the fade route to him a couple times?
Yeah, and Matt Ryan's got to do a little bit of better job than put that near the sideline, man. Like, got to put that ball in the end zone.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. Matt Ryan struggled heavily at finding Julio Jones. And people poke on Julio all the time. It was like, oh, well, he doesn't have the touchdowns to manage it. That's a two-way street, dude. It's not just on the receiver's fault.
Yeah. All right, so just a very broad question. Why is the Eagles' red zone defense so good?
I mean, first off, you're good because you have physical corners and you have a really aggressive and good front four. You pretty much look at it. If we just rush 4, Fletcher Cox can probably win 2, right? So right there, essentially it's 5-on-5. So I like my odds right there. Linebacking core, it's sufficient, right? I don't think there's anything at a linebackers that really gets me excited. I'm a big Nigel Bradham fan. He's the only one that would get me excited. Then you think about, okay, what's the next biggest receiver threat? Tight end, right? That's a big one. Hey, bring in Malcolm. I think Malcolm matches up really nicely with tight ends. And I got a plethora of tough physical corners. So you look at all across the board, it's a really nice mix here for the red zone defense.
So the recipe for success in the red zone, got to have a good defensive line, got to have physical corners that can press.
And you got to have one guy who can match up the tight end. Just one. Whether it's a linebacker or a safety, you can pick your poison, but you got to have at least one.
Yeah. So we just talked about that, but then the other side of the ledger is Atlanta, and what the hell's going on with that? So 2 years ago, they scored 540 points. Last year, they couldn't even score 400. What the hell's going on with their red zone offense? What do they have to do to score touchdowns?
Man, this is a tough one, Adrian, to be honest with you. It's a combination of things because, they're a team who runs the ball so well horizontally. Problem is, when you run the ball horizontally, all you're doing is you're opening up more angles for defensive linemen who the Birds are loaded with to be able to play angles on you. So that means, okay, we got to run north and south. Okay, not easy to do against the Eagles or the Vikings or the Rams. 3 teams you figure you have to get through if you're Atlanta.
Yep.
And you don't have a power back. You don't have a Marshawn Lynch, a Garrett Blunt, who's a guy who can get hit in the backfield and keep his wheels turning and get you that 1 yard to fall in. So the simple answer is, Adrian, Matt Ryan and Julio, fade, back shoulder throw. That's what it's going to have to be in the red zone for Atlanta.
Yeah. All right. That's all for me. I don't have any more questions. Do you have anything else you want to talk about?
That's it. Excited to see what Tampa Bay is going to have in store. I got to assume it's going to be another easy win, but who knows? They did put up 48 last week too.
Well, they ain't putting up 48 again. I'll tell you that.
Agreed on that.
We'll see. I said on the preview show, 31-20 Eagles.
Yeah, I have a hard time imagining that the Bucs are going to be able to put up more than 28. I think that's the absolute ceiling. And with no Vernon Hargreaves, it's already a bad defensive back group. It should be a nice time for Nick Foles to really get rolling.
They're starting a second-round corner in Carlton Davis. And to be honest with you, I couldn't even really tell you who Carlton Davis is.
Carlton Davis, long arm corner press guy out of Auburn.
Oh, there you go. You're all over.
I remember correctly.
I didn't have him in my top 10 corners.
Well, I mean, there's a reason he went second round, right? Like, he's talented. Let's not make it sound like he's so sloppy.
It seems like he got overdrafted. Second round?
It's probably fair. I mean, it depends on who you ask. I liked Carlton Davis, but I'm also a press corner guy, so I'm always going to give those guys a little bit of a nod.
Yeah.
But, I mean, look, if he wasn't a starter and you don't have Grimes, you don't have Vernon Hargreaves, yeah, I'm cool with, being able to light you up in the defensive back room. I think my receiver should win this all day.
Yeah. So it's not Desmond Trufant and Robert Alford, I'll tell you that. And that's why some people in Philly, they're like, well, wide receivers suck. Well, you're not going to get open much against those two. But these two that they get to play this weekend, okay, you might get open a little bit. And if the receivers still struggle to get separation, then I'm on your side.
I'm with you. I'm 100% on buying what you're selling there. Atlanta's a very, very good defensive back group. Tampa, not. Indianapolis, very much not. So you really have two weeks to really get things synced. And honestly, Adrian, that's why if I'm an Eagles fan, Carson, you can keep chilling, man.
Yeah.
Alshon, keep chilling. I'm good. No, we don't need you yet.
It's funny you make that point. I think he's going to come back week 3. But if they actually sat him until the bye, I wouldn't hate it. I think they could go 6-2 with Nick Foles.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, you won the important one in Atlanta.
Yeah,
right?
That was the one right there. It's like I said 3-1 after a month. But I'll tell you what, right now I'm thinking 4-0 because I don't know if I like Tennessee anymore.
Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, Mariota was banged up too, and they did not look good against Miami in all 11 hours of whatever that game was. So – yeah, I'm with you, Adrian. I mean, Tampa, I got no confidence in. Indianapolis, even less. And Tennessee might play you tough. But, I mean, I would still feel if the Eagles tried out Nick Foles, I would still say they are the better team.
I agree. Okay. All right. I think that's it now. You can go, Brendan. You can go home. And
Bye, guys. Appreciate it, guys.
Brendan Albert. I'm Adrian Fetke. He is the best when it comes to breaking it down. The fact that I didn't even send you that play, and you're able to just, this happened, that happened, yeah. You're so good.
Appreciate it, guys.
You're pretty good. See ya.